Hey guys, Corey with Camel. If you are on my Facebook page or Instagram page, you know that I had a pretty wicked crash on this bike in the Glam Sand Dunes a few weeks ago. So made a mess of a few parts, snapped off the handlebars, and broke the right side fairing. Of course, parts aren't available in North America yet for this bike, so the bars are no big deal. Got back to the shop and put on a set of Fast Flex bars that I've had for a couple of years on different bikes, and have some parts ordered from Europe for the fairing. But they'll be a couple of months, I believe, to get here. So just going to do a quick stitch job on the panels, or panel, I should say. Really straightforward to do. It saved my ass a few times in Mongolia in 2009. I was there on an F800 and had a wicked crash, blew the whole front end of the bike off, and stitched the whole thing back together with galvanized or stainless mechanics wire and crazy glue. So it does work, can save you in a pinch. If you can't get parts, this is a good way to tackle it. I'm going to use zip ties today instead of the stainless wire. It's a little bit of a chore doing the stainless wire, cutting them all to length, twisting them in, folding them over, cutting them down again. So we'll do it the quick and dirty way with zip ties. Very straightforward. Drill, small bit, small zip ties, crazy glue, patience, that's about it. So you can see the cracks here. There's one good one there, one there, one there. All things considered, the bike fared really well with the crash that I had. So this is all unbolted already. Just gonna grab it. And just from the back side, you can see kind of where we're working here. I'm gonna pull this thing off. The most important part is actually to drill the end of the crack and radius it so that it doesn't keep cracking. We can drill and stitch this whole thing, but if we don't do something to terminate that, the crack is just going to continue running. And so this one here, this whole piece is a little bit floppy. So I'm not going to bother drilling that one because if it cracks, it's just going to go in there into this other crack anyway. It's not going to run anywhere, but we do need to drill that one and that one. And then it kind of looks like there's another one right here, a smaller one. So if we can do both ends of that, it goes under the emblem. I'm not going to bother taking the emblem off. And it actually looks like the crack doesn't go all the way through. Also important to note that the crack may terminate in a different spot on the front than the back, because it can be kind of on an angle in the material. So just when you drill it from either side, just have a look at the other one to make sure that you did get the whole thing. So we're going to that one there, and that's what I mean. That was in the center on the back side, but it is not on the center on the front side. So we're going to have to re-drill that, or not re-drill, but drill another. Right. So that's got it on both sides. And then same on the back here. I'm going to drill this one right there. Right there. And you can see the cracks continue to run on the back side to those locations, but they aren't cracked on the front side to that location. So I'm not going to re-drill that one because this one, if it runs, is just going to run into that hole and stop. And then I believe this one as well, if it runs, it's just going to reconnect to that hole. So I think we're okay there. Punch a bunch of holes in here. And we're just going to do zip ties exactly like you'd think. If you put them in from the back side so the buckle stays on the back, that's the best for aesthetics for sure. And then just try and get it as lined up as you can before you tighten the stitch down. So I like to do the outer ends so it kind of holds its shape, and then from there I can start working on the inside ones. Oh, I still got to drill that. I forgot about that. So just because this is kind of fragile, I'm going to do that one there and that one there before I drill those other 3 holes. I think it'll just keep this from breaking more. I won't go so far as to say good as new, but far better than it was. I don't have a lot of crazy glue left, but you get the idea. Just kind of along the crack. So you sort of have a mechanical means of holding it with the zip ties, and then it's held chemically too with the crazy glue. You can do it on the bike too. Once it's on there, kind of hose all this down, and it will be good and strong. So this is the only snag with putting the zip ties with the buckles on the inside. This might have been a better spot to use wire actually, because I've got to put this piece back in here. So it's going to be held up a little bit by the zip tie buckles, but the foam is thick enough that probably will absorb it. And we can put that back on the bike. Like I mentioned earlier, when I crashed, I also broke the handlebars off the bike. I've never broken a set of bars before, but not every crash is the same as every other crash. So I posted the photos and a little description online what happened, and the amount of hate about the handlebars blew my mind. All the comments about buy Pro Taper, buy Renthal, you should have got twin wall, Yamaha handlebars suck, fuck Yamaha, was astounding, absolutely astounding, because people don't know even really what happened. Just a brief kind of commentary from me, but not the details. I was the only one there. And I'm replying to some of these comments and saying, nah, like given the crash, it like is totally acceptable that they broke. And lots of replies to those replies saying, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm kind of uniquely qualified to talk about it, given I was the only person there and the only person that knows kind of how nasty the crash was. But yeah, these are the bars here, and this is pretty thick material. I'll get the camera to focus this close here. I don't have the calipers here, but it's pretty beefy, and what they bent that far before they finally broke, which is, you know, they bent almost 90 degrees, right? From, yeah, well actually, yeah, because they start, you know, up there, and it snapped there with a 450-pound bike moving at speed, fast enough that it tossed me 20 to 25 feet. I'm gigantic, bigger than the average bear, and yeah, the force to break these is a lot, but it was a pretty nasty crash. The other thing is, if you look how they're actually broken, the bike didn't hit the ground, and this didn't, you know, drag along the ground and break off that direction. If you look at the way they're bent, the bike was actually flying through the air, not on its side, but wheels high, and it landed with this in the dirt. Like, it didn't fold back at all. It bent this way. And that's what broke the panel here, is the bars bent down until they couldn't bend anymore. And then it cracked that about the same time that this broke off. But I have zero issues with the strength of the factory bars. If I didn't have multiple sets of aftermarket bars here, I would have no problem running these. Again, so lots of comments about guys saying, well, I guess that's the first thing on my list, I got to change handlebars. I don't think that you do. I think these are plenty beefy enough. Just a super weird crash is what it is. You ride stuff hard, it's going to break. I'm glad that these broke rather than potentially bending the steering stem on the bike or something else. This is a $100 fix. No big deal.